everybody? I was gonna say peace and blessings, but that's not how I roll. What up, y'all? It's the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the place where we set oppression ablaze, and I'm very appreciative that a few of y'all have made the time to join me on this lovely August Eve. Here we are on the 20th of August. On the heels of the super blue blood moon. And I spoke about it this morning. I said, hey, everybody be aware people are a little snippy during the full moon. It's me. I'm people. I'm snippy. I have been in a bit of a shitty mood today. So, guys, this is not going to be a long interaction betwixt us all this evening. I'm ready to go smoke some weed. Okay. And possibly indulge in a salt bath because I feel like my motherfucking aura is cloudy out this bitch. We got to clear this joint up. My energies is all off, so I'm hopping that salt water. You know what I'm saying? Throw a little bit of myrrh, a little bit of sandalwood, some lavender oil in that joint. Hopefully, my chakras will realign themselves and I will degrump. But in the interim, I'm grumpy. So I want to actually begin the show by starting off. Maybe sunshine is not the right word. I don't look at this individual as sunshine. Clearly, they are shit. But I laugh at shit, though. Sometimes I find shit funny. So we're going to start off in a couple seconds with some funny shit, literally. Let me see if I can get into the jam here and say what's up to y'all. I hope I can say what's up to y'all. And what's up, y'all? How's everybody feeling out there tonight? Party people, make some noise. Everybody aware to call and response of party people make some noise? Y'all should be. Anywho, but we got a good show tonight. Oh, we have a few people in here. Oh, of course. YouTube says nope. Can't even enter your own live. See? It's okay. Anyway, I'd like to welcome. Can I shout out my mods? Let me start there. Let me shout out the folks that I assume are in the building. What's up? What's up, Courtney? What's up, Latif? What's up, Tyler, my son? Did we make other people mods? Will said no. We haven't figured out. Will and I both clueless about how to work YouTube. 3 years in, neither one of us know how to work this motherfucker. So shout out to Anna and Learn Life, who would be mods. Afraid not also would be a mod. Me and Will don't know how to work the buttons, y'all. We gonna work it out. Brothers and sisters are going to work this out. So I like to thank everybody for making the time and thank everybody that has contributed to the channel. And I know I lie again. I lie routinely. I lie all the time. But anyway, I said I was going to have a list of people to shout out for the supporters. I did not compile such list, and I trust me, I feel very, very guilty about it because again, I made promises we don't keep. Shout out to the old heads that know that. Promises. What?
Real quick, who you said? You said Learn Life, and who else?
And a heart. And afraid not.
And afraid not. All right, I'm about to work. I'm working on that still.
I'm
gonna try to do it today. I'm doing it right now.
And I'm sorry, Will. I didn't mean to put you on the spot because again, if I knew how to do the shit, I should have did the shit myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a diss to Will. Will got a lot on his plate, everybody. Will's a hard working young man out here. He got a big family to support. Will have lots of kids. None of them his own though, but he supports the children regardless. So I just thank you guys for all that you do. What the hell just happened here on Patreon? What somebody did? You guys, we created. Leave me alone, Patreon. I'm not y'all, not the patrons. Patreon, the app. Anytime we post a new whatever the fuck, Patreon lets me know that they've created a card that we can share on social media. Cool. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. Anywho, so anyway, I'm grumpy, and one way I like to degrump is to watch white minstrel shows. Are there such a thing? Yes, I think so. I think Donald Trump absolutely qualifies as a white minstrel show. And I know some of you all are in maybe deep confusion, especially some of the Trumpers that fall through here. I don't know what the fuck y'all come over here for, but okay. But why do I like to watch Trump? Well, number one, Trump is hilarious. Number two, Trump represents, he actually is the living embodiment of America, right? Trump is crass. He is ignorant. He is obese. He is a moron. He is ruthless. He is wealthy by unearned and undeserved means. He is a misogynist. Tell me how could he be more America, right? He wears bad wigs just like the founding fathers. I mean, make America great again, right? This nigga is America. And even though I am deeply displeased with our presidential options, but to be clear, I suppose I have been deeply displeased with our presidential options for the last 20 plus years, right? So this election cycle, absolutely no different. I don't like Kamala. We know this. Y'all don't like her either. And we definitely don't like Trump. But at least Trump provides a bit of comic relief. Like Trump is the tragedy and the comedy all mixed into one, right? It's something to marvel. So Trump was in Michigan today, okay? Now the part of Michigan he was in, is it called Clan Hood, Michigan? is it called what's the shit in Texas they got that sounds crazy? Is it White Settlement? Yeah, they got that shit in Texas. Is it White Settlement, Michigan? No, but it might as well have been, right? Because apparently in this small town in Michigan where Trump spoke today, white supremacists had marched, I think, the day before, and the sheriff of said area in Michigan was like, "We had a bunch of people come around here," and then he didn't talk like that because he's from Michigan, but he said we had a bunch of people come around here and with that hate crap, and they wasn't from around here. I said, my God, the whites have been in deep, the racist whites, of course, have been in deep disillusionment about where the racists are, where do they live in their proximity to wherever place that the racists happen to show up and gather. It's like this whole outside agitator has been a long running trope about, well, we don't know who these outside agitators are. No, you know exactly who the fuck Ray and Bobby and them is. Your neighbors. What you mean? You seen them down at the goddamn Kuroga. But anyway, so we'll go ahead and pop Trump up, y'all. Give me a couple minutes of Trump, y'all. Can I have a couple minutes of Trump just so I can I get a couple giggles in to try to raise my mood since this super blood blue full moon in Leo season is, as Kalechi would say, batting me up right now. It is batting up my emotions. So I need a little bit of comic relief. So let's take a listen to the living embodiment of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. Will, if you could.
Reason for that, because I believe in law enforcement. The other group doesn't. It's always an honor to be with our brave men and women in blue and in brown, frankly, and in various colors, because it's not always blue. But these are great people, and you just don't do better. They're brave, and they're under assault, and they have a lot of difficulty with the laws of our land, and we're going to get rid of that difficulty because they shouldn't have difficulty. Our police, men and women, have the backs of law-abiding citizens every single day. They take care of what they have to do in some very adverse conditions. And I'm the, when we go back to the White House, you're going to see support, the likes of which you haven't seen certainly in 4 years. We worked very closely with the police all over the country, as you know, gave them billions of dollars of excess military equipment that was in warehouses all over the country that the Obama administration refused to give.
Tell the truth.
Check this out. State Farm was charging me $179 for auto insurance per month.
We got a commercial running.
And it was just drawing dust, magnificent equipment, but it was just getting old, sitting in warehouses. And I hope you guys got some of it, right? Did you? Because I gave it, and it was billions and billions, and it was nothing going to happen with it except the government was paying lots of rents all over the country for big warehouses. And it was an honor to have done it, and it helped a lot of the departments very, very much. I want to thank Livingston County Sheriff Mike Murphy. Mike, thank you. Thank you.
shit.
Where is
Livingston County, Michigan. Where is that?
Thank you, Mike. What a great job. It's so respected. All of them. This group is highly respected. Mason County Sheriff Kim Cole. Kim, thank you.
Oh, wait. Well, fast forward. It's like 5
Van
minutes.
Buren
I don't
County
want to hear
Sheriff
shout outs.
Daniel Abbott.
I don't want to hear shout outs. I want to hear Trump being Trump. This is Trump being Trump, but I want to hear Trump.
If it was up to them, you wouldn't even have the men behind me, people behind me, representatives behind me. You wouldn't have them. They wouldn't have a job. They think it's going to just police itself. Everything's going to take care of itself. Her father is, as you know, a Marxist professor.
Oh, wow.
And he obviously did a good job. But this is where she's coming from. And,
he
you
did
know,
a
you see her
terrible
now
job.
with a smile. And she's gotten rid of the laugh over the last couple of days. I don't know. I haven't seen her laugh. They told her, don't laugh, please. But I'll bet inside she was laughing last night when she saw the way Joe Biden left, because that was a coup. That was a coup. And I'm no fan of his at all. And it started with the debate. And from that point on, it just got worse and worse. But that was a coup. It was a vicious, violent overthrow of a president of the United States.
Violent, y'all.
Since Comrade Kamala Harris took office.
He said Comrade Kamala.
Her administration's crime statistics show she's presided over a 43% increase in violent crime. These are all government numbers.
Oh, wow. Who's
43% increase in violent crime. I'll bet the people behind me don't have anything like that. Just gets better. It doesn't get worse. Including a 58% increase in rape, 89% increase in aggravated assault, and a 56% increase in robbery. The crime in America, the fact is out of control. I watched last night in amazement as they tried to pretend that everything was great, the crime was great, the border was great. There wasn't a problem at all, no inflation, no nothing. There has been a report that the job numbers over the last period of time were fraudulent, and and I understand that because I know how the job numbers go, and you want to be a bad person.
Yes, we know.
In high office, you can be a bad person, but the numbers are going to be revised, that the job numbers were far less at nobody's ever seen 600,000 to 1 million people less, jobs less. And let's see if that turns out to be true, but that's what the rumor is. It was reported by a very respected outfit group, and we'll see what happens. But that's a terrible insult to our economy, because we were seeing numbers that were okay, not great, but now we're seeing numbers that, when they're adjusted, are a disaster. But crime in America is out of control. I'm going to make it, along with the economy, inflation, strong borders, and energy dominance, my top priority. I'm including crime in America. You know, normally that's done locally, and we're going to give the local people a lot of help, like I did initially, but not that much. We had a lot of great numbers coming out when I was president. Now we're seeing numbers that are just absolutely horrific. The Democrats are holding their convention in Chicago in order to showcase it. And yet, as you know, on 4th of July weekend, 117 people were shot. Of the 117, 17 were killed. This is 4th of July weekend, and 40 were shot last weekend. I don't know how many were killed, but assume a lot.
And what do you tend to do?
And that's a war zone. That's worse than Afghanistan that we read about all the time. Speaking of Afghanistan, the worst and most embarrassing day in the history of our country, in my opinion.
Okay. That's enough.
13 dead soldiers.
Most embarrassing day. Okay, that's great. Thank you. I at least had a couple of little sniggles in there. I appreciate him calling her Comrade Kamala, which, by the way, we know Kamala would sprint so far away from such a title. And it's interesting that he brought up her father, who is, I believe, a Marxist economist. Like that's his categorization, a Marxist economist at Stanford. Apparently, he's a very brilliant Black man. And it's amazing that you've never seen Kamala mention him. I didn't even think her daddy was still alive because Because all I saw was her mama, right? All you see, I didn't see her last night, but when Kamala's, origin story gets put out there, you see her mama and you hear, of Indian and Jamaican heritage, immigrant heritage. You'll never see her daddy. I thought her daddy had gone up to yonder. No, her father is very much still alive and well. I wonder if he's doing interviews. He probably isn't. Trump said that her dad did a great job with Kamala. I would I would beg to differ because you would think if she was raised by a Marxist, she'd be doing way better on her policies than she is now. But we know that she ain't. And speaking of such, yes, the Democratic National Convention is going on tonight. Thank you guys for watching me tonight instead of the convention, even though I know the shit don't really get started until later. But if y'all gonna watch it via Condios, because but I wanted to talk about the Democrats, though, if we could for a second. And with the convention being held in Chicago, which is helmed at the moment by, I think the young man's name is Brandon Johnson, who is the mayor, the newly recently elected. Maybe he's been in office about a year. And the governor being Democrat J.B. Pritzker. Illinois is a very blue state, very, very blue. So why why do they go so hard at not only the residents of Chicago, but people who would be if Democrats got their rhetoric and their policies together and stopped being warmongering fuckboys and girls, right? All them people in the streets would prefer to cast a vote for a Democrat, I would imagine, or even a better third party. But if it comes down to Kamala versus Trump, people don't want to vote for Trump, and they're not going to. But at the same time, they are also not going to cast votes for someone who has not offered anything in exchange or to have deserved their vote. So let's start. Actually, I have a clip here that I want to play at the onset of the convention, and I'm not playing no clips from inside the convention. Y'all can go watch that shit on MSNBC, CNN. They're going to be showing you all the Raphael Warnock, all the Jill Biden. I was about to say Jill Stein, Lord. We know Jill Stein ain't going to be there. All the Jill Biden. Who's speaking tonight? Barack and Michelle. Yep, you're going to get all that tonight. No, I'm not giving you none of that because fuck them niggas and crackers and niggas and crackers. But this is the kind of time that, unfortunately, Brandon Johnson's administration seemed to be on when trying to arrange protest spaces with organizers who I think they're expecting. What did I hear, you guys? Is that 100,000 number? Is that inflated? Or we think that's about on point with the amount of people that are coming to Chicago to protest the Democrats. I would imagine there's going to be more protesters in Chicago than it is going to be attendees of the actual convention, which should actually tell you quite a bit. But listen to how the organizers were treated by the city of Chicago. People who were trying to assemble to make their voices heard, to exercise their First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. And it's like, oh, well, you can assemble way over there when nobody can see y'all or hear y'all. And kids, that's not democracy, beloveds. That is not democracy. That is a limited framing of what free speech actually is. So anywho, Will, let's cue up that first clip if we could, please.
Months, for almost a year. We applied for these
Start from the
permits
beginning, babe.
in November. For months, for almost a year, we applied for these permits in November. Now, according to the city's own laws, if we do not get a response within 14 days, we have that permit. So we should have had this permit by December.
That's right.
Now, the problem is, they've given us some nonsense. They gave us some nonsense with the Department of Transportation over our permit to march through the streets from Union Park to Park 578. And now what they've done is they've told us that we have a permit to assemble in Union Park, but with no sound system, with no stage, with no tents, and with no porta potties. So what they're telling us is that they want the tens of thousands of people.
just to give you a clip, you guys, to give you an idea, because I saw that same sentiment and set of conditions being repeated by a number of organizers on social media. In case you missed it, the city was belated in granting organizers their permit to protest. They did grant it, but with many, many conditions. They would not have sound systems. They would not have stages. They would not get access to porta potties in Chicago with thousands of people in the streets. No porta potties. I just assume Mayor Johnson wants everybody to piss in the streets. I don't know. I would hope not. But just to give you an idea, right? This is the Democrats doing this, right? What doesn't this resemble? A little bit of fascism? Isn't this a little fascisty? Just a tiny bit? And the numbers, I think at the first night or the first day yesterday, whatever day that was, the 19th of August, the numbers I think were 10,000 strong in the streets. And it is mostly, not exclusively though, but there is a large amount of pro-Palestinian people, protesters, supporters, anti-Zionist protesters in the streets. And this brother that is about to speak, you can cue up that next joint, I think does a good job of explaining why the issue of the genocide in Palestine for it to be reduced by liberals and other Democrats as a quote single issue. Don't be a single issue voter. Think of the broader scale. When we're talking about children by the thousands being bombed and laying waste to an entire culture, when schools are being bombed still today, when hospitals are still being bombed and under attack, this to me should be one of the highest priorities, right? Because ultimately, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, were he to be reelected, would stand beside these Israeli policies. They would stand beside the genocide. And I don't want to be a member of a country. And I know I am, whether I want to or not. But no, we're not going to be here, and be silent about what's happening and the atrocities that are happening in Palestine with American bombs, missiles, and munitions, and with the overt consent of the Biden-Harris administration, right? So anyway, let's hear from the brother on the ground explaining why this issue is absolutely not just a single issue, but it ought to be one that should take a higher priority in the minds of would-be Democratic voters for president. Let's take a listen.
In the public, there's been talk in the public about Harris as maybe a more understanding person, more willing to listen, more empathetic, whatever the adjectives that have been used. But for us, that's meaningless if there's not a policy change. We don't actually care about what the personality of the President of the United States is. We care about the policies of the President of the United States. And so whether it's Joe Biden or whether it's Kamala Harris or anyone else, our demand remains the same, that we want an end to U.S. aid to Israel. We want an end to the genocide. And the reality is the President of the United States, again, whoever it was, or whoever it is, would be able to end the genocide with one phone call. They would call Netanyahu's government and say no more arms, no more aid, no more political cover, and the genocide would end immediately. And so our demand remains the same. Kamala Harris as a candidate has only given us two policy platforms, that her support for Israel is, quote, ironclad, and that she is against an arms embargo. And so for us, that doesn't signal any type of change, and that's why we're out here demanding that the Democratic Party ends the genocide.
I appreciate the going further than calling for a ceasefire. Arms embargo, I think, is the absolute right call here. And I don't think it is too big of a policy ask. Someone needs to ask Kamala whenever she does sit down and do a serious interview, but I don't expect her to get really serious questions. Why is it that you're okay with the way that the Israeli military has been wantonly and recklessly murdering civilians by the tens of thousands? Why are you all right with this? Why are you okay with hospitals and medical workers being found in mass graves? I think, what was it, outside of Al Shifa Hospital? oh my, I mean, sometimes some of the reports of the atrocities, they really make me physically nauseous when I hear about it. But one of the mass graves that they discovered, I believe this was outside of Al Shifa Hospital, was doctors, nurses, patients, people who had their hands bound. Some people had catheters in them. You know, we're obviously talking about patients. And then there was some evidence that a good number of these people were actually buried alive. This is horrific shit. This is inhumane. There is no justification for this. There is no solid reasoning to stand behind this kind of policy and behavior. And I appreciate the brother there saying, you know, we're not voting on personalities here. And that is what I hear basically coming from a lot of Democrats. Oh, Trump talks crazy. Did you hear what Trump said about Kamala? Did you hear what he said about black people? Yo, what do you expect? You know what I'm saying? Oh, did you hear what Trump, even what Trump in the clip we just played, Trump saying that he loved police. Nigga, you is lying. Your supporters put the smack down on the police. Did you see all the bear mace that Trump supporters was making the U.S. Capitol Police eat on January 6th? Don't get me wrong. I was with the shits. I supported that action. But nigga, don't piss on our back and tell me it's raining. Don't make me believe that you are an angel when you are in fact a demon. And of course, none of us are naive to what the Republicans and what Donald Trump is about. But so many of our people are falling for this Kamala okie doke, and they're falling for it hard and fast, guys. And it doesn't leave me very hopeful or optimistic about what Kamala is going to come through and quote do. She's made it very clear that if you are black, don't expect shit. don't expect shit special for you. You know, that's the Obama doctrine. You know what I'm saying? Listen, darkies, we know we have begged for that darky vote, but we have no darky policies. Very sorry. See ya in 2028. Y'all gonna be back, right? This is shit I cannot stand, you guys. Like, it is the political immaturity. This is what children do. You understand? Like, yes, I like the blue Power Ranger. Go blue, right? And I mean, that's what kids do. But you got to like somebody because they are reciprocating something for your support. What is it? Tell me. I need to know. And I want to shout out, you know what I'm saying? I have some very good brothers and sisters that I am friends with who are Democrats. And in a recent conversation I had, my one homie told me Biden forgave their student loans, six figures worth of student loans. And I told them, I said, that's great. I said, that is a good piece of policy. I'm glad that happened. For one, Joe Biden is the reason that we as consumers are unable to consolidate our student loans into a bankruptcy, right? Because nope, your student loans, because in part it was a Republican piece of legislation or a bill. Bush passed the shit, I want to say in 2006, and Biden's support is a big reason why that legislation was able to pass. And so Joe Biden, in an attempt to, I suppose, to correct a previous error in supporting people being burdened with student loans forever, tried this piecemeal thing to forgive some student loans. And yeah, that is a good piece of policy. The problem is, how many people does it actually affect? I don't have any issue with people's student loans being erased. I'm for that. I'm not one of those folks. And plus, I had my student loans also took care of as well. That's great. I'm not one of the people like, well, I didn't go to college, so I don't see why. I don't see why I should pay for it. No. You're paying for other people's shit all the fucking time. You're paying for a war. You're paying for 2 wars right now. You're paying for one in Israel and you're paying for one in Ukraine. So we, as American citizens and taxpayers, pay for shit that we don't like all the fucking time. I am quite okay with people's student loans being erased. The problem is that it affects such a small amount of folks. And in fact, it does not do much to help or bolster the conditions of poor folks and working class folks, right? And dare I say, even if you had your college student loan debt forgiven, you're probably just barely still breaking even, right? Because the rent is too damn high, the inflation is too high, groceries are too high, gasoline, meh, It could be better. but everything is way expensive. So where your student loans might be actually putting you underwater, if you had them forgiven, maybe you're breaking even. Not good enough. Okay, not good enough. And if Kamala's talking about she's going to bring down the cost of housing, she's going to address price gouging. I need specifics, baby. Tell me how you're going to do all this via executive order, through the power of the pen. Are we rallying a coalition? Like, do we got the people in Congress, your Democrats in the House, already gearing up, ready for some legislation to offer up in the next Congress? When we don't get specifics, baby, we get taken. Okay. When we don't ask for the details, we get dealt with. And I lived through the Obama swindle. Y'all did too. Black folks, I'm talking to you. And the whites, I know y'all got swindled too, but not in the way, not in the same way that Black folks got swindled with Barack Obama. Okay. I don't know. I can't point to much tangible policy that Obama did. Many will point to the Affordable Care Act. Again, a very bare minimum standard of care. I understand that did not previously exist. I get it. But the Democrats keep pushing you crumbs and is in confusion as to why those crumbs aren't satisfying enough to you. What you mean them crumbs didn't sustain you? They didn't provide you with enough nutrients for you to not only actually live but thrive. I'm not here to cape for people that are always going to capitulate to corporate interest, big interest, the healthcare industry. I know Joe Biden said he finally dealt with big pharma. And I actually wanted to talk about that. Maybe we'll get on to that on the morning show. But I wanted to talk about, not right now, but those that pharmacy policy that passed that's actually not going to take effect until 2027. And I'm like, nigga, you understand there's old folks on this medicine right now that could use some relief today, not 3 years in the future. And that's the shit I'm talking about with Democrats. They always like to give the corporations enough time. Let y'all can wring out the last maximum bit of profits on these poor folks out here. And then we're going to make y'all, take a little bit less profits. Let's take a break because I'm grumpy. What time is it? Oh, but we broke. Okay, we breaking. we may not break. Hey, someone sent money. Big up to Patrick S. Thank you so much. Big up to the bruv. Infinite content. Infinite. I almost called you by your government name, bro. You might want to consider changing that on the Cash App because that's when I call you out by your government because that's what I see. But shout out to Infinite Content. Thank you so much for your support, Alicia, baby girl. Thank you so much, Alicia. Alicia, I know you like Tim Walz. We're gonna have a conversation. I need to get the skinny about Tim Walz from you. I don't know about Tim Walz. he out here saying too many of the right things. You know what I'm saying? When a white man come through talking too correct, cannot be trusted. Don't you dare trust him. CC Bill Clinton, CC Joe Biden. Who else was a white man talking too correct out here? It's like, oh no. But no, Tim Walz has sounded way better than Bill Clinton and Joe Biden of yours. So I don't know. He might be all right. Will I see some yellow boxes coming through on the jaunt? Do we need to acknowledge any super chat support?
2 F's. Here's to take a little off the edge. Enjoy blazing up.
Oh, Franny send the opium. Black magic. No, I know they're not sending me nothing, feds. That was just a joke. That was just a joke. No, what's the never mind. I was about to make fuck it. I'm already in it. I was about to make a bad joke. I was about to say, send me that Matthew Perry. What's the shit? What's the shit? Oh, it's not funny. Stop laughing, Kim. I ain't shit. I keep telling y'all, I ain't shit out here. But send me that Matthew Perry though. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what that's hitting on. Because they say that ketamine be doing it. Y'all on the ketamine? Y'all like it? Who got the plug? Anybody? I'm just kidding. I'm just fans. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know y'all watching this shit. But anyway, so thank you guys so much. Franny France, love you to pieces. What's that, Will? Oh, that's the same jump. Okay, never mind. No. I'm seeing, am I seeing more colored boxes? Or I'm imagining that. I'm imagining. Okay, forget it. Thank you guys. Do me a favor. Support. I mean, with the free ways. Hit us with the likes, the subs. Oh, did you guys see? Molly posted it on Twitter. The channel. Guys, wait a minute. I just forgot. We did have some good news. This is a reason for me to sit up and express gratitude. The channel made it over 1 million views, y'all. We are 1 million views strong on this mother. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for that. And we are only 120 so subs away from 6,000. 6,000, everybody. That's because of y'all. Y'all did that. Thank you so much. What is Damien in here? Stoner Loner Damien, thank you so much for your support earlier today. Appreciate that. Thank y'all for all that you do. Spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I'm saying? Send this to your cousin, auntie, your uncle. You know, the people who appreciate vulgarity. You know, I tend to do well with those folks. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you guys showing up and helping the channel get over to 1 million views. Again, I understand in these YouTube streets that is still small potatoes, but I like potatoes. I like the little purple jumps. Yeah, buddy. So thank you guys for doing that. And I think as a treat, I would like to do a Zoom party. We did a Zoom party when we hit 5,000 subs. I think we should do one for 1 million views. So if you guys are around tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Wednesday. We might combine the Twitch turn up and a Zoom party for members and for patrons to mark our 1 millionth views. So what that will look like? That will look like I will play music, but I will keep it low. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the fucking ear doctor and shit at the party. You know what I'm saying? So we can all still come in and converse and shoot the shit and smoke and well, y'all drink. Y'all shouldn't do that. I'm trying to get my people off the alcohol. Get off the alcohol. It's bad for you. Go get you some other shit. But yeah, so what do you guys think about that? Anybody available to do a Zoom party tomorrow? Say 5-ish, 6-ish. What's up, Will?
So we got Zenzi Bell.
Thank you, Bell.
She sent us a super chat. She said, "Hey, KJ Sakuma."
Thank you, KJ.
Shout out to
Sakuma.
him.
Thank you, guys. Zenzi Bell.
Sorry.
Thank you, Zenzi Bell.
Alicia gifted a membership, and John Kemper for all the mods saving me from the BS tonight.
Hey, but John Kemper, I like it when the troll. Well, because I don't be in the chat. Maybe I should shut up. But I like it when the trolls come in. Oh, well, maybe y'all don't. But that tells me we moving up in the world, John Kemper. You know what I'm saying? When the MAGA flags come out, when the American flags come out, nigga, we making it out here. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, John Kemper. Thank you. Who else you said? You said Alicia. Thank you so much, Alicia, for gifting the membership. KJ Sakuma. Who was the first person you said, Will? You know I smoke a lot of weed. Who was the first person you said?
Zenzi Bell.
Zenzi Bell. Of course, how can I fucking forget Zenzi Bell? Zenzi Bell, thank you so much. Very much for all your support, baby girl. All right, guys. All right. So I will be honest. When the news of this next story broke last week, I was watching it kind of as it happened. And unfortunately, I had a feeling it was going to end the way it did. And this is about a domestic violence situation, but it's really about the widespread mental health crisis that we have in this country, you guys. It's Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Thank you guys so much for being here every Tuesday and Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Please like, share, and subscribe. Support us around the internet, cash platforms, and other socials, BIDWKB. So you guys know on this platform, I pay attention. I have a heightened awareness about domestic violence stories. And last week in the DC area was a bad week. I mean, women took L's, women and girls took L's all over the place. Like there is a search right now. This is not the story, but I just wanted to mention this. There is a search happening in Manassas, Virginia, for a missing 28-year-old pediatric nurse. Her first name is Manta. I can't recall her last name, but she is of Nepalese origin, and they can't find her. And her supporters are out there trying to find her. People are giving her husband the side eye. It doesn't look good. And on the same time frame in which the search for this missing woman was happening, there was a news story that broke, and it pertained to an Amber Alert coming out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, which is about 3 hours from here. And the story was that a 36-year-old man by the name of Dana Plummer had allegedly attacked his child's mother and one of his children by stabbing them. Now, those two people survived, okay? What Mr. Plummer is alleged to have done after, and I use allegedly for reasons, right? What Mr. Plummer is alleged to have done after allegedly stabbing his partner and a child, a little girl, he then kidnapped 3 of his own children, 2 boys and a girl. And these are all young kids. I want to say all under the age of 6, with the youngest being a 16-month-old toddler, a baby girl. And the story ended not good. So what happened was he was on 95 North. He came into Maryland. Well, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. Virginia state troopers spotted him around Fairfax, got behind him. Jesus Christ. And this is the police did not do a good job here either. This has happened about 9 o'clock in the morning. This is the height of rush hour in DC traffic. Okay. On the Beltway, forget about it. So the police light him up in Fairfax. They get behind him. They follow him all the way into PG County, cross the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. He tries to get off at the Branch Avenue exit. He takes the exit too fast, rolls his truck. The 16-month-old is ejected from the vehicle. She was flown to DC's Children's Hospital. She was medevaced from the Beltway to the hospital, and she tragically passed away. And when they announced that, I bawled. I bawled. Number one, because I had a feeling. I knew, everybody knew those kids were in danger, right? Those children were in actual danger from their father. And for this little girl, this 16-month-old who couldn't do shit about shit, she couldn't object, she couldn't get out the fucking car, she couldn't say, "Daddy, take me home," she couldn't do nothing. She was at the whim of this person, okay, who turns out had a number of issues going on with them. And while those may be factors, they are not excuses. So I want us to pick up the package that is going to provide a lot more information about this incident. And guys, this is a domestic violence case, but this is just another example of, number one, how laws on the books don't really work, right? Protective orders don't work. Red flag laws even don't work. You're going to hear about how a red flag law was somewhat involved in this story. But it didn't do anything to save the life of the 16-month-old toddler. So anyway, let's go to the Virginia Beach local news and pick up the story from there.
Virginia Beach police say after a father stabbed his stepdaughter and her mother, he abducted their 3 younger children and then fled to Maryland. After an Amber Alert was issued, Dana Plummer crashed the car, killing the 1-year-old girl inside. Here in Virginia Beach, police say the 12-year-old girl and her mother survived the stabbing, and they are in the hospital. A neighbor here tells me they just saw the kids that night, Wednesday night, here playing in the cul-de-sac, but it wasn't long after that they heard sirens.
We had no idea that it was something happened to those kids. We really didn't.
Neighbor Sherry Spores says she was happy to hear the kids playing outside, but now
I'm just sad. I'm really sad, you know.
A warrant on the door of the house shows that police found the girl lying on a bed with severe injuries. Both mother and daughter had been stabbed multiple times. And the 3 young children had been abducted, a crash later killing the 1-year-old. I went to the Virginia Beach courthouse to search for any further information. I found documents showing that in 2021, Dana Plummer and his wife at the time, who we're not naming, had separated and filed for divorce. They had been married since 2018. At the time of the divorce, they were both active duty military, according to the court documents. And earlier this year, Plummer surrendered his guns, seen in these photos, to authorities after an incident where police were called. They said he was showing signs of paranoid schizophrenia, and they took the guns as part of a red flag law, which allows the temporary removal of firearms if a person is at risk of harming themselves or others. That was back in March. It's not clear if those guns were given back. And multiple agencies continue to investigate: Virginia Beach Police Department, Virginia State Police, and Maryland State Police because of that crash. We will continue to update you as we get more information. In Virginia Beach, Angela Bohan, News 3.
There we go,
Last
Will.
night, a lot of us woke up.
There we go. Thank you. So a bit of an update that Dana Plummer waived extradition. So he has been repatriated back to Virginia and is facing a number of charges. And can I tell you guys, I was this close to picking up the phone and calling the PG County State's Attorney's office and telling them, y'all better run motherfucking charges on this motherfucker. But I didn't, because I didn't want to be on the record as calling the prosecutor's office and demanding somebody be prosecuted. But at the same time, I was so incensed to hear that this person so recklessly took these kids, right? And why did he take the kids? Well, we don't really know specifically the reason why he took these kids, but for those that pay attention to such dynamics and such scenarios, because this is not uncommon, it is unusual, I hope, for the child to be injured or murdered. But this scenario is not uncommon for an abusive partner to want to harm the other partner or even harm the kids. To go take the fucking kid. You didn't want them goddamn kids. The fuck you take them kids for? What was you going to do with the 16-month-old? That I am going to guess that this man just had this infant, this toddler in his truck, unrestrained, right? Not in a proper car seat. How did the child get ejected from the car? But anyway, these are questions I don't know the answers to. But in lieu of me enacting some limited street justice, right, from my chair here in the goddamn office, like, I wanted to make sure that the PG, like, if we're going after people, you need to go after people like that. People who endanger the lives of children, people who are unrepentant in the harm that they cause. And listen, there was lots about that package in the story that I have questions about. For example, the incident that they spoke of in March where Dana Plummer, that's the man's name, 36 years old, again, used to be active duty Navy. I have questions about how the fucking military is monitoring their own and the mental health of their own, which, by the way, we know they are not. but that just begets just the larger, broader societal issue that we do not take mental health crises and mental health issues seriously. And we do very little, if anything at all, to address them. Why in March is the police approaching this man? And not to say why are they approaching him. I guess in this instance, I'm glad they did approach him and remove his guns from him. But how are the police determining that this man was having a paranoid schizophrenic episode? I'm unclear how the police are qualified to make that assessment, and that very specific assessment, right? Which cop went to got their psych degree and is diagnosing paranoid schizophrenia on the scene whilst removing weapons and guns from a person who is, I guess, acting eccentrically or acting in a way that the police felt compelled to go and remove his weapons. But you see, you guys, while America does have a gun problem, America has a violence problem. Let me stand again on the record and saying that the world has a man problem, okay? Because the mandem be out here doing the fucking most. But what did the red flag law do to save this 16-month-old, right? Guns are only part of the problem. People's emotional limitations and the traumas that they are unhealed and unresolved and unaddressed, and the persistence of how this society just continues to bang us in the head that with all kinds of stuff, with capitalism, with just living, with misogyny, with homophobia. Like, the society continues to bang us in the head, giving us mental health issues, right? And this country does nothing to address it. We hear very little from our leaders trying to address it. I hear a lot of gun control policies, though. We need universal background checks. We need red flag laws. We need to get rid of ghost guns. What the fuck does that do with somebody who is determined to harm/kill somebody absent the gun? For those of y'all that don't know, and many of y'all do, and I'm going to say it again, in 2017, my brother was murdered in Hawaii, okay? What, did someone shoot him? Nope. He was stabbed to death by a stranger, okay? A stranger, and with a knife. No gun in sight, no red flag law to be activated, no ghost gun to be taken off the teenager. We live in a violent country, everybody. And part of the reason everybody's so goddamn violent is because many of us are walking around with unaddressed mental health issues. And I don't hear fuck all from Kamala, from Trump, from Hakeem Jeffries, who's the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell. Like, pick a politician. They give it lip service. Even the Republicans, half-assed to their credit. You know, we don't have a gun problem. We have a mental health problem. Yeah. And what y'all gonna do about it? If Kamala is not talking, expanding the ACA, or fuck the ACA, make something better. How about we make something new? How about we make something better? How about we implement programs, grants, or, you know, some sort of specific federal funding to accelerate the amount of mental health professionals that we have available to treat people. People that work in the mental health field will tell you we don't have enough psychologists and psychiatrists and caseworkers and such. We are at a deficit for that, which, you know, a terrible time to be at a deficit of mental health workers when everyone in the fucking country is crazy as shit. And I have real anger towards this man. A tiny part of me is, when I say tiny, I'm talking about 0.002%. I have 0.002% empathy for this man because of his mental health crisis. But I tell you this, it is very clear that he is soft as scrotum skin out here, everybody, because look at who he attacked. He attacked his woman or his ex-wife, right? He attacked a 12-year-old girl. And then his actions led to the death of a 16-month-old little girl. Like, he crazy, all right, but he ain't crazy enough to try that shit with men. You understand what I'm saying? He had all he wasn't crazy enough to go try to go toe to toe with the cops. He was strapped. But no. He knew who was lesser strong as he. He knew who was more vulnerable than him, and he attacked those people. And one thing that I've said here numerous times, or I think I have, sometimes I say shit in my head and I don't know if it comes out, but for abusive dudes specifically, I feel as though they get a number. They get multiple opportunities to harm multiple folks. When you look deeper, just a little bit under the surface of some of the histories and some of the allegations against men specifically who commit these kind of crimes or these types of, you know, behaviors and attacking women and children, usually it's not the first time. You know what I'm saying? It's not the first time that they've done this. And there seems to be little to no incentive to get a hold of those that are doing this shit, right? Couple things. The criminal and justice system is not the move, right? We have this is a health problem that we have. We don't need more room in jails for people. We need to prevent people from even going to jail. And quite honestly, we need to prevent people from making the moves that cause harm to others, right? What can we do about that? These are the questions that I would hope our people would ask these Democrats, ask these liberals, because all we're going to continue to get from them is lip service about a gun problem that is never going to be solved. There's a commercial running right now, and I actually meant to pull it. It's evergreen because I see it with some frequency, and it always annoys me, and it's not gonna not annoy me in a future show. But I'm gonna describe it for you. So the congressman that represents where I live in Prince George's County, his name is Glenn Ivey, also a former prosecutor. Glenn Ivey is not running for re-election, but Glenn Ivey must have done a good job, boss, because he got a commercial running on TV. Why? He got a commercial running to let y'all know, us PG County residents, that Glenn Ivey is on the fucking job. And this whole commercial is all about guns. You know, our streets have been flooded with 400 million guns. And now kids, instead of fire drills, have to do active shooter drills. Nigga, where the fuck you been for the past 25 years? This shit ain't new. and here's what I've done for PG County. I've proposed and I've offered up and I've brought $2 million back to the county for violence interruption. What? $2 million? What you bragging about? Anyway, my point is, there's no getting a hold of the guns, y'all. 400 million. 400 million. It's not possible. No, don't say that. No, anything is possible. We put my okay. Well, let's put our mind to expanding mental health care for everybody, for children, for veterans, for people who have survived abusive situations, for those who themselves might be the aggressors. My God, like I was thinking about this. Jesus Christ, like where are the hotlines? Where are the services and the resources for men who are thinking of causing harm to their partners, to their children, or to themselves? I don't know where those resources exist. I know there's a handful of groups that are trying to, work with the men. Shout out to Black Men Bill. Shout out to the Black Alliance for Peace. I know they will. Once we want to finish the segment, I want you to come back on and tell me how that presentation went. But I know there's some folks out here trying to help. But we need professional help, okay? Our men out here, not exclusively Black men, not even close, right? But all the men need professional help. Where is it? We do a lot. Well, maybe not a lot. We do more, I think, for survivors of domestic violence. But what do we do for those that are the perpetrators and the abusers themselves, right? We lock them up. And by and large, I'm okay with locking them up, to be honest. But the real tea is I would like to get to them before they do something that requires them to get locked up. So if a man is upset or even if he himself is being abused, where are those resources? We don't do, Jesus Christ, am I saying this shit? We don't do enough for men. We don't. Relative to the amount of harm that they cause, we do not do enough to get to them before they cause the fucking harm. And that needs policy, right? That needs to be addressed. That to me is more of an urgent issue than getting a hold of gun violence. Because guess what? Guess who is out here committing 90% of the gun violence? The mandem. So if we can get a hold of the mandem, the gun violence rates, I know, will go down. Because you're giving them an outlet, right? To make possibly different and better choices. But with the accessibility of guns, this is why we have what we have, right? Carnage in a lot of places, right? And even though this case I'm speaking of does not involve guns per se, where is the ideas? Where are the crafting of legislation in order to deal with the issue of mental health crisis, which all of these politicians will give lip service to and agree that this is an issue. But what are we going to do? Oh, we got to get the guns off the street. Get the fuck out my face. Okay. What else we got to do? We gonna get all the cigarette butts out the ocean. Like, I mean, make it make sense. And you have to tell me something tangible, because getting guns off the streets or even getting guns out of the hands of criminals, that's not realistic in this country. And to be clear, the people that they're referring to as criminals, oftentimes either domestic abusers or mass shooters. Overwhelmingly, when guns are involved when these folks have incidents involving firearms, these weapons are overwhelmingly purchased legally. So the laws that they're even proposing doesn't do shit to address the people that are out here causing mass harm. So again, I am just tired, y'all. I am exhausted. Like, I know that we are all under a psyop, right? like the feds and the mass media and all this shit, like they are running a crazy operation on us all, right? And we are all subject, to be manipulated by propaganda and even by the news. And the only news I really watch when I'm watching television news, that is, I get most of my news from, the socials. But the news that I watch, I don't know if it's just this much domestic violence happening in my area, but it seems like it. And it's every week. In some instances, it's every day, and it can range. It can range. Not when I say not just domestic violence, but y'all know how I feel. Attacks against women and children, right? 2 coaches in this area have been charged with sending inappropriate texts and explicit photos to either teens or people they believe to be teens. There is somebody in Montgomery County out here flashing a dick to people, right? Is somebody else these stories come in all the time, and it's constant. And as a woman, as a survivor, I'm like, this isn't getting any better the older I get. And I don't know why, as a naive, goofy person, I would have thought, oh, as I get older, it get better. No. This shit is actually getting worse. It seems like it's getting worse. And I don't hear nothing to address, or I hear very little to address the issues of domestic violence beyond we're going to prosecute those that commit domestic violence. Cool. What can we do to prevent it? And prevention does not only involve dealing with survivors. You have to get the abusers, you have to get the aggressors, you have to get them involved. But you got to get them involved before they do worse, before they stab their woman and their 12-year-old stepchild and kidnap their 3 minor children and take off on a high-speed chase on the highway. Oh, and by the way, a couple things. Can I give a special fuck you to the Virginia State Police? How dare you? How dare you light up this person with these 3 small children in the car and chase them through rush hour traffic on the DC Beltway? What did you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen? You thought he was going to be good and pull over after he done stabbed 2 people and kidnapped 3 kids? Oh, you just thought he was just going to surrender? It was deeply irresponsible for the Virginia State Police to engage in a high-speed pursuit on the Beltway, not only endangering the lives of the kids. By the way, it was the 16-month-old who tragically died. The 2 other children were hospitalized, I believe. I'm not certain if they had been released from the hospital, but the other 2 children's injuries were not as severe as the babies. All right. So I think the other 2 kids are going to be okay. And the partner and the 12-year-old, I'm getting conflicting reports about the other child that was stabbed, about her age. She's either 10 or 12. I've heard 2 different reports, but they are still they're still in the hospital, I believe. But my point is, it was piss poor police procedure to do that, right? They should have put an unmarked car on him and followed him. He got to stop. Got to go get gas. Kids got to go take a piss. He had to stop sometime. There were more responsible ways to pursue him that factored in life, the preservation of life. They did not do a good job with that. So fuck the Virginia State Police. Let me say that. But let me say this. Dana Plummer waived extradition. He is back in Virginia Beach. Y'all know anybody locked up in the city of Virginia Beach jail? Anybody? You know anybody locked up down there? Can I make a suggestion? Can we get him tuned up? Can we tune him up? Can we tune him the fuck up? There are a number of creators that I watch on TikTok who are formerly incarcerated, and they talk about how things go on the inside, right? And people who do harm to women and children specifically are dealt with in a certain way, right? And a lot of it is not necessarily what you think it is. It involves like psychological torture, right? It involves the fucking with of their food, right? It involves taking the few creature comforts that incarcerated people are permitted in jail. It's about taking all that shit, right? I understand this man may have had a mental health issue going on, but he wasn't that fucking crazy, right? He knew who he could dominate. He knew who he could harm and intimidate and attack, and it involved women and children. And as a result, he deserves no peace, no comfort. He does not deserve a good night's sleep. He does not deserve a quality meal. I'm trying to parse my words here because y'all know how I feel about these things. But if you know anybody locked up in the city of Virginia, you tell them I said tune that motherfucker all the way up. Okay? And I'm hoping that the Prince George's County State's Attorney, I almost can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but I'm hoping that the Prince George's County State's Attorney's office also decides to levy charges. To my knowledge, they have not charged this man with anything. But at minimum, we're looking at vehicular homicide, right? Or criminally negligent homicide. I don't think this raises to first or second degree murder. But this is absolutely child neglect, and neglect that led and resulted in the death of another. Okay? This man does not deserve to come out ever. 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 You stabbed a baby, a preteen, right? You kidnapped and traumatized your own children. You killed one of your own kids. Where do you deserve to be? And shame again on the Navy, but the Navy to me and the military is an extension of this American culture at large. Is the fucking military checking on these active duty people who have been red flagged in a way for either domestic violence or mental health issues? Of course they're not. And I would sue them if it was up to me. That's your it is what it is. That's your property. Your soldier was out here fucking up and causing chaos in the community. Why didn't you have a hold of him? But it's, again, a broader representation. We know how the military treats their veterans. Don't give a fuck whether or not they housed, whether or not they are receiving health care. They don't care about the military folks. Neither. Anyway, I'm gotta go. I talked too long. We did this way too long. I didn't even think I'd be on here this long. But anyway, I appreciate you guys letting me get my shit out. Appreciate that. Like I said, I did huge crying when I saw that story. I was devastated. I was extremely upset. And the last time there was a story like that in this area, with intention, I did not talk about it on this program because I didn't think I would have the ability to get through it because it was just so heartbreaking. But I was not gonna let this particular story not be addressed here on my program. We have a mental health crisis in this country, everybody, and improving the gun laws is not gonna fucking help that shit. Please tell a friend to tell a friend, and tell your Kamala supporters that shit, please. Thank you guys for all your support. Will, did I see any more blue or whatever the fuck colored boxes pop up? Did somebody else run or something? Oh, wait, fuck that. Wait, hold that. Will, you went to the Black Alliance for Peace, Baltimore. Black Men Build Collabo. That's why we didn't have a show Friday, y'all, because Will went to their presentation about patriarchy, right, Will?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was more or less given, like the history and context of, you know, what it is, what they do, like all of the women that were battling patriarchy, you know, throughout history, and some of the achievements that they, you know, recognize. And also I learned that Shirley Chisholm is not the first
Black woman to run for president.
Mm-hmm. I gotta look up the name. I forgot her name, but she was also a communist. She was a Communist Party elect, I guess she would be. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna connect with the local chapter of Black Men Build.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Charlene Mitchell. Yep, thank you, Sith Lord.
Did they talk about what to do about how we get a hold of the mandem? Is that
yeah,
part
that's
two?
one thing that like you know, I wish they would have talked about that more. I wish there was actually more men in there too, because it wasn't. It was a lot of. It was like 50-50 for real.
Okay.
It was like it was a lot. To me, it was a lot more women in there than, you know,
brubs.
Yeah. So
you found the conversation helpful? Did you got something out of it?
Yeah. No, I did. Because again, you know, learning about that and learning about the history of it, and you know, and also again, like yeah, because I think that conversation that, you know, this conversation that we were having about the mental health, like that's a different conversation, I guess. That, you know, I like, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, I would like for us to talk, you know, talk more about it, but also, like I said, I'm connected with the chapter, as far as like, you know, just trying to meet with them more. And yeah, I'm gonna try to get more into that and try to see, you know, just see the temperament of what this space could be. Also, too, I want to do some like art shit with them and stuff too. So, you know, get them talking about that and doing some different shit. So
I appreciate that. Good. I'm glad. Like, shout out to Black Alliance for Peace, Black Alliance for Peace, Baltimore. You know, the folks that are doing this work, that are opening the doors and trying to have these conversations and these dialogues and spread this education and to be, but y'all, I mean, I think we're all on a path to solutions, right? Because obviously we're not about to get universal mental health care, right? Like that shit is not coming down the pike. It should, but it ain't. So in the interim, what do we do to get a hold of Dana plumbers before they go off the deep end? You know what I'm saying? Like it can't just be calling the police. Like I still don't see the police as the solution here. They aren't. The brothers need outlets. You know what I'm saying? They also needed to be checked, and some of these motherfuckers outright need they ass whipped. Like there's a variety of things that need to happen, and I ain't got the answer. Sway, y'all know this. I got the complaints. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all like, Kim, what the fuck? We need solutions. Yeah, we absolutely do need solutions. And my first solution is women. You need to start. And you know what? I'm gonna let me cut that off right here. So anyway. Thank y'all for everything. Thank you, Will. I appreciate you. I appreciate you going to that. I appreciate you blowing us off to go to that because that's important. I appreciate you being in the spot to kind of give us the update of how that went. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Will. So, all right, y'all. Y'all be easy out here. I'm gonna try to go calm down. I think the weed has arrived. So do me a favor, like the video on your way out. Philip B. I see your dollar. I accept your dollar. I thank you very much for your dollar. And by the way, guys, there's no wrong answer on the Cash App. There's no wrong answer on the Venmo, beloved. There are all the right answers. BIDWKB. That is us on Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, patreon.com/BIDWKB. Guys, somebody is going to help me write a list, and I promise, because I like to shout out the folks that have run support, because it means a lot, because y'all could have kept y'all money in your pocket and you didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I want to acknowledge you and have you stand and wave to the crowd and shit. So I'm gonna do that Friday. I ain't forgot. Okay. So anyway, thank you all so much. Infinite Content, thank you so much again for all that you do. Big up to our mods. Oh, did you make the people the mods? Oh, you said you're gonna do it later. That's fine. Shout out to Latif. Big up to
No, they did it. I did it. Everybody's one that you asked.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay. That's great. All right. Yes. Woo. So shout out to the mods, Latif, Courtney. Shout out Chuck Diesel, Tyler, Anna Hart, Learn Life, Abby, Afraid Not, our new mods, new wrenches, Buck, and be watching Patreon and the community section tomorrow for members only. I want us to do a Zoom party tomorrow to mark our 1 million views on the channel. That does make me glad. That does bring a smile to my face. So that helps to de-grump this old bitch just a little bit. All right, y'all. On behalf of Will and Molly, thank you guys so much. We'll see y'all back here Friday. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Thank you guys. Peace.